Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Modern Cowboy Podcast. Today's show is brought to you by National Roper Supply. NRS is proud to be the #1 Western store in the USA and have been providing quality Western wear and horse tack since 1989. NRS is a one-stop shop for all things Western. And now, Modern Cowboy brand apparel is available at NRS, as well as the Cowboy Whey protein from our Modern Cowboy Performance Nutrition line. Click the link in our Instagram bio to shop the Modern Cowboy collection at NRS World. And be sure and use code Modern Cowboy at checkout for 10% off your entire purchase. Now, that's not only on Modern Cowboy brand products, but on everything NRS carries, with only a few exceptions. So shop Modern Cowboy brand at NRS. Use code Modern Cowboy for a 10% discount on your entire purchase at checkout. And remember, whether you're the most punchy West Texas cowboy or you work on Wall Street and wear cowboy boots, Modern Cowboy is the brand for the cowboy in all of us.
Where are you cowboys and cowgirls at?
Hey everybody, this is Dan Hillenbrand and welcome to Modern Cowboy, the podcast for the cowboy lifestyles and businesses around the world. I'm glad you're here, so sit back in your saddle and prepare to be inspired, motivated, educated, and entertained as I interview a new guest each week that embodies the modern cowboy.
From a long line of legendary men, sons of the desert and riders on the wind. I got a restless spirit burning deep inside of me. I ain't got much, but I'm free. I've always been one to do it my own way. I'm making my living between the saddle and the stage. I don't owe nobody nothing, everything I got's my own. Some say I'm just bad to the bone. I'm a cowboy, yes I am. I was born to rope and ride. I'm a cowboy, that's my brand, until the day I die.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Modern Cowboy Podcast. I'm really excited to have my guest on today. I'll give you a little backstory. I met Hunter probably 2 years ago, actually in Queen Creek at I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, it's the big Queen Creek rodeo they have there. It'll come to me in a minute. Hunter will probably remind me, but and he was roping calves there, and we actually had a booth there, and so that's the first time I met him. And he came up and we talked a bit, and super cool guy, you know, got all the qualities of the superstar, tall, good looking calf roper. And as everybody knows that listen to my podcast, calf roping is like my most favorite sport in rodeo. I always say that, you know, calf ropers look like these knights in shining armor coming in with all you just tacked up everywhere, you know, ropes and pig and strings and stuff. And I always just thought it was so cool. Always wanted to rope calves, never got to. But anyway, that being said, I've got Hunter on the podcast today, and he's going to tell us about an experience he had here recently at the American. And anybody that's in rodeo knows what happened, but it's just I think is an amazing story in and of itself, even though in some aspects it's kind of tragic to a certain degree. But the way Hunter handled it was just amazing. And so anyway, I wanted to have him on, have him be able to talk about the experience, because I think everybody has at one time or another in their life thought, you know, what would I do if I, you know, had $1 million? And Hunter had it slip right through his fingers. So anyway, without any further ado and all that, Hunter, welcome to the Modern Cowboy Podcast.
Yes, sir. Well, thanks for having me, Dan. And yeah, quite frankly don't remember the name of the Queen Creek Rodeo. I think it's Queen Creek Rodeo Days, maybe.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, so.
Well, when you were there, well, I'm sorry, when you were there though, I remember this, and we can edit out if you don't want to say it, but it was just really, it was really kind of cool the way you responded at the Queen Creek deal. Cause I remember you came to the booth before you were up, and then you were up, you roped, you came back by later on. And I'm like, how'd you do? He goes, well, I fell on my back. You remember that?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
like,
and I was modeling for Boot Barn actually too. They paid me to wear some of their. I think I just wore a shirt for them, and they took some pictures of me warming up, and then they took pictures of me roping. And I remember when I wiped out like that. I think they gave me, it wasn't a ton of money. It was just kind of a quick thing, easy, fun to do. And remember when I wiped out, and I roped the captain to be plenty fast to win money, and
right.
I was riding a new saddle I wasn't used to, and for whatever reason, man, my foot got hung up, and I went straight to the ground on my back, and I was just instantly thinking when I land on the ground, I'm like, of course, like, great, middle of a perf, getting pictures taken that they can't use, like, so yeah, that's a funny memory, really.
Well, but the thing was that I think I remember just kind of your response to it, because I'm like a super hyper excitable person. I'd have been all over the place, but you were very calm and very relaxed, much like what happened, at the American. But I definitely remember that night. And since that time, I've had the opportunity to meet your parents. You've got an amazing mom and dad. I've been able to talk to them on several occasions up here in Wickenburg at the NRS store and stuff. So, anyway, and you and I, we've talked, off and on over the past couple years, and I believe that you came in when you were home too, up at the NRS store as well. But let's talk about what everybody else has been talking about, and just again get another perspective on it, and also for people that are listening to the podcast right now. Hunter's actually, we're recording this. He's horseback in the arena somewhere in Alabama right now. So he's riding around while we're recording it. So I thought I'd just throw that out there. Yes. Yep. There he is. And there's his pony. So let's talk about the American and leading up to it, and just, the events that unfolded.
Yeah. So it's for folks that don't know, it's a process to get to AT&T to begin with. I had to rope and earn a spot, a qualification to the semifinals. And then once you get to the semifinals, you have to rope through that process out of 230 ropers. And there's different cuts. They go to 26, and then they go to 10, and then they ultimately take 6 guys to AT&T. And then they bring the top 10 in the world in, and kind of starts over, and you go from 16 to 8 to 4, and that's where you rope for the big money, is in that round of 4. And throughout that process, everybody knows the last run I made, which was a great run, 7.2, as fastest I've ever been. Great place and time to do it. But all those other runs leading up to it, my plans were the same, simple. See the start, rope the neck, flank and tie. It's just you have a process and a blueprint, and you stick to that no matter the level of pressure, quote unquote, that's on those runs. And that was a pleasure. I mean, I love roping calves, love everything about it. And they did Dirk and all those guys did a great job putting on the event. They really worked hard. And at the end of the day, it's an amazing memory to have competed at that level and done well too. So
once you're at the American, how many runs do you make?
Once I got to AT&T, I made a run in the round of 16. So that's Saturday. That's one run. And then I was in the top 8. So I advanced to Sunday. I made another run. And then top 4 was my third run. So I made 3 runs in the stadium.
And so then on your last run, talk us through that.
I was second out. There was 4 of us that came back. Cody Craig was a qualifier as well for the million. myself. I was second out, and then Shane Hanchey was third out, and then Tough came back last out, I believe. And I didn't even realize. I mean, I knew I had a shot, obviously, at the million. I didn't know who had won the other events, what portion of it there was, and none of that matters in the moment.
Right.
It's about making your run. And I know that, they hyped it up and had the stadium going and the music, and it's awesome. So what, as competitors, that's what we work so hard all the time. It's for that one moment to make a run in that kind of setting where everybody's watching you, all the sounds cranked up, everybody's they're just amped and ready for something cool to happen. And, I probably used to get nervous, but I really wasn't in that moment. I felt really, really prepared to make that run. And I had my mind was locked in, and that's been a process. That's not easy and not something I'm understating at all. The mental side of it is huge.
Right.
And, but I'm really, really thankful that it all came together in that moment, and I was able to go make a great run. And, everything else that happened after that was just as much instinct and gut reaction as it is when you compete. I mean, you know how to act. We train ourselves as athletes, but you also obviously train yourself day in and day out, how you think, act, speak, all the habits you have. And I think, everybody's commenting and, on my reaction to the situation, but that was just as much a trained reaction as anything else. I've been through a lot of adversity. A lot of people have, and it's how do you, think about two things? Where's your foundation in your life, and what do you rest everything on, and how do you handle tests in your life, and do you blow up or not? And if you do, then you got to just be aware of it and try and better yourself moving forward. So I had a friend tell me the other day, you never lost $1 million, you never won it.
Right.
And that's a great point. I had everything to gain from that run, nothing to lose. And I didn't lose anything. I had almost a tragic event, and luckily my horse is down and I'm down and the calf's fine and everybody's fine. But there's a lot bigger things that happened in that moment. I think that impacted a lot more people in a very special way.
Right. Yeah. Well, I agree. And, that's one of the things when I found out about it, and I wanted to get you on the podcast and just get more of your perspective on it. I even thought it'd be kind of interesting if you ended up back there again next year and ended up in the same position and ended up winning it. I mean, you just never know what can happen, but
I'll be back.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Yeah, absolutely. So, now how long have you had the horse that you're riding? And the horse that you were
4
riding?
years.
4 years?
Yep. I got him as a 5-year-old, and he's 9 now. So I basically got him as a green horse that had been hauled to a few jackpots and rodeos and was ready to go on and continue the seasoning process. And I was kind of at that point in my rope, and I was just trying to get started and going to pro rodeos. And I'd been to a few, and so it's kind of cool. He and I've gone through all the same growing pains together.
So that's the same horse you've had for a while then, huh?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I bought him right after I graduated from college. I bought him in the fall of 2017, and then I started rodeo in 2018. Okay.
So, because I know that it seemed like you were looking for a horse or something at one time, but maybe you were looking for
always.
Always. Yeah. Because I think when we met, I believe that was 2018, wasn't it? Or 19, maybe 19.
Mm-hmm. I've been looking for one, and they're hard to find. They're really hard to afford.
Right.
But you always, especially in the pro world, I think you always have to have your eyes out for that next horse, you know, and
Right.
to have a complementary would be ideal. You know, Gypsy he kind of has a style and a situation and a setup that fits him really well.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was really looking for was a horse that fit other situations and scenarios. And that particular horse is very hard to find nowadays.
Right.
Kind of a little more old school horse, and guys just there's only a handful of really, really good trainers, and those horses go for a lot of money and disappear before you ever find out about them.
Right. Right. So now, do you just have the one horse, or do you have a backup horse now too, or you just have one?
I have another one. I actually got another horse from Mitch Fechner, the same guy that trained Gypsy.
Uh-huh.
And I'm super, super stoked about that because I'd always wanted another one from him. And he's 70, I think he's 78, 77 years old now. And I got this horse when he was 75. And that horse, his name's Charlie. And he's coming along too. He's actually in the training process. So he's still at home right now, but he'll be on the road with me later this year. And I'll hopefully be able to bring him along into this year, beginning of next year.
And how old is that horse, Charlie?
He's 7 this year.
7. Okay. So how many rodeos are you going to a year now?
You know, I haven't gotten to go super hard, like enough to try and make the finals, but I think last year I might have gone to, well, last year was weird because of COVID.
Right.
I think I went to 40 something maybe. I've actually never really looked, but I remember I think 40 was around the number I went to, maybe 38 or 40.
Right. And how about this year? What's your plan for this year?
Gonna go as much as I can, that's for sure. You know, I got some money won out of the American, and I'm up in the standings, and obviously I have a lot of momentum and confidence. So I'm gonna keep going what we can get to. The schedule, still really don't know that much about it that far out. I mean, the farthest out I know right now is about a month, and that includes San Angelo, I think Red Bluff, California, Clovis, California, and then Diamond, Oklahoma. And so just those 4 rodeos, if you put them on a map, pretty tough to get one horse all of those. So I'm going to have to figure out some other rides or something there to try and get to those rodeos, because all 4 of those are big money rodeos too.
Right. Right. So now, do you work outside of rodeoing, or do you do anything else?
Yeah. So I've done, first thing I did was insurance adjusting, and I went and worked storms like hurricanes and hailstorms and winter storms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was a really good deal. It's just tough to leave like that. You kind of disappear for a few months, and then you get out of shape and your horse gets out of shape and stuff. And then I've done modeling for, I think the first thing I did was for Ariat back when I was in college, but that kind of turned into something. So I've done more for them and some other companies and agencies. And then I've mowed lawns. But lately I got started with some digital marketing with Stall High social media and Kendra Dixon. And that's been really cool. I've just been with her for a couple months. And right now I'm kind of stepped away a little bit just from the events from the American and trying to get caught up with some really cool new opportunities coming up. But, you know, I plan now, my goals have always been outside personal is to grow the industry. And with what happened now, I feel like I have a platform to try and help people
Right.
and do some things with that. So I really want to coach kids and coach mindset, you know, whatever it may be, but really just start helping some people. And that's kind of what's cool about the digital marketing is we're predominantly focused on the Western industry, and got some companies that we're really trying to help grow. And so it's cool and exciting to kind of see it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
To try and accomplish that.
What's the name of that company again?
Stall High social media.
And that stall like in Horse stall.
Horse stall.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Stall high.
High like a cloud.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think the stall high name Kendrick came up with back in was 2020, and everybody's all cooped up, and that stall high term is kind of like when you get restless from being in a stall too long. So.
Gotcha. So now, when did you get into roping calves? I mean, did you high school rodeo and stuff, and did you team rope as well, or was roping calves always your deal?
Yeah, no, I team roped. I started out back in when I was like 4 or 5 years old. The WJRA, Wyoming Junior Rodeo Association. I tied goats and ran barrels and did pole bending, and I was the goat tire. That was my thing, and that was kind of like the pee-wee version of calf tying and calf roping. And played a lot of sports, played a lot of basketball when I was younger, and then it transitioned to a lot of football in high school. And the roping was something I always did, and I always rode, but I didn't. It was kind of like I was serious about whatever I was doing at the moment. So if it was winter, it was basketball. If it was fall, it was football, and if it was spring, it was rodeo. And the calf roping, I started in middle school, and then I got more into it in high school. And then when I got really serious about it was college, when I went to Cal Poly. And in between those summers, I went and stayed with folks that really helped me out and showed me a lot more. And that's Marty and Felicia Miller there in Oklahoma. And from there, it just took off. I kind of finished out school, and I had a job offer and some things, and I realized I really wanted to rodeo. So I got really serious about it when I graduated, 2017.
Yeah, very cool. Now, what degree did you graduate with? What did you major in college?
Construction management.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, and how'd you end up picking that?
Well, I actually went in Cal Poly. You have to declare your major going in when you apply as a senior in high school, because they stick you right into your major courses. Like freshman year, engineering 101, you're in it. And I applied to industrial engineering. It was kind of recommended to me as like a business engineering.
Right.
And I had no idea what I wanted to do. I mean, what 18-year-old knows what they want to do? And I got in, and it's a great major. Cal Poly's got an outstanding engineering program. But I quickly learned that it was a little too much for me technically and all that, the amount of math, and just it's such a rigorous 5 years. But I ended up switching to CM when I got on the rodeo team my sophomore year, and my coach, Ben Londo, was an alumni from the program, and he's a really good saddle bronc rider, and he had done really well with his degree. And I kind of asked him and picked his brain about what he was able to do, and I said, well, he's an example I can follow, so I thought it'd be a good degree.
Yeah, very cool. So now you're looking at and thinking about doing some coaching and on mindset training, those type of things. What type of training program do you do in terms of like working out and stuff? Do you have a specific program you do for calf roping, or?
Yeah, I've had, so playing a lot of sports, I've spent a lot of time in the weight room, and I love lifting, but I've also gotten injured lifting several times, and I learned a lot about my body and how it works. And sitting in a truck, driving, getting out, getting a horse, and the repetitious movements that we do with calf roping can wreak havoc on your hips and back. And so I have dumbbells with me. I have power blocks that go from 5 to 90 pounds. I've got a bench. I've got resistance bands. I got a TRX. I've got a yoga mat. I've got pretty much everything you can fit into a trailer.
Right.
And what I've started doing actually that has been the most helpful, and I've told some guys about this, is called Pain Academy. And it is, it's got two names. It's kind of a postural therapy program. And it's kind of got a weird name. It's called Egoscue method, but it basically teaches you how to realign imbalances in your body. So like I said, when you do a lot of repetitious movements, like my QL gets really tight. And I think that's what caused some major injuries before was bulge discs from muscle imbalances. And so I do that, and it is 100% different from the normal take your pre-workout, put your headbuds in, and get after it for an hour.
Right.
It's a lot different. It's a lot more like yoga and flow and breathing and stuff. But it has absolutely changed how my body feels in the last 3 months.
Yeah. Now, is there an app, or is that a website, or what's?
Yeah, it's I guess it's a website. I saw it on Facebook or Instagram. I saw it on ads because I follow a lot of PTs on Instagram, physical therapists, for trying to get different ideas of different modalities and things to do. But I saw it on there, and I actually reached out to the guy that runs it. His name's Vinny, and he's kind enough to reply to me. He's got a couple 100,000 followers, and I actually talked to him a couple different times, and he explained to me more about the program, and so I dove into it. And it's like a subscription-based deal where you go in, and once you subscribe, you've got access to all the content. And there's a bunch of different phases that you go through in the training and the programs, and it's cool. He's done a really, really good job of putting together everything he has.
Now, are you connected with him in terms of any type of a collaboration, or are you just promoting his deal because it's worked really well for you?
Yeah, they actually don't do any sort of affiliate structure at all.
They don't.
One of their questions on there that they answer is they don't. They've got some NFL guys that do it too, I think, and they don't do any affiliate links because they want people to share it because of just how well it works, not because they get anything out of it. Which I wish I get something back to help pay for it. But it is. I mean, it's comparable to a gym membership, and like I said, the amount of instruction and explanation, especially for a person like me that's really analytical.
Right.
I know more about my body now than I have in the last 4 years of doing research with people.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting. You identify with being super analytical, because I picked up on that when I first met you, that you had a very analytical mind.
Ask Tyson Derek crap for it all the time, but serves me well, I guess.
What's that? What'd you say? I that cut out.
Oh, I said ask Tyson Durfee about it. He always gives me hell for it because Tyson's he's been one of my great mentors, and he's very much a go after, get it, make mistakes, figure it out, keep going. I'm more the ask a lot of questions,
right,
put together a plan,
right,
go about it that way. So he always gives me hell for it, but I think I've learned to make it my strength instead of a weakness. My comment back to him was, well, Kobe Bryant asked a lot of questions, and he did all right too.
Right, exactly. No, that's very true, and it's so important to know, our personality types and other people's personality types, because then you know how, to interact and deal with them. Because like you said, like Tyson, man, and I think he's even become increasingly more. Well, on the disc scale, he'd be an I head, so he's very, very, very social guy, and just a lot of energy and a lot of intensity.
Yes. Well, and I talked to him the other day. We did a deal for his podcast that he's launching, and he got to joking about that with each other, and he said, as I'm getting older, I'm starting to get a little more analytical because I make mistakes and have to learn over and over again. So it's funny, and I'm getting better at analyze, decide, go on. Like getting better at taking more action and stuff like that. So it's just funny how people have their different evolution.
Yeah, very cool. So then you rodeoed through high school, or I mean junior rodeo, high school, college, and then into the pros. This year here, do you think there's a potential? Or are you looking to try to make it to the finals this year, you think? Or
yeah, I never really set product goals, which making the finals, I guess, would be a process, but like a world title, for instance, would be a product, I guess. I'm just, now that I have proven to myself that the blueprint can work. And of course, I'm going to have to continue learning and growing.
Right.
I'm absolutely going to, I didn't drive all the way to Florida just to try and win a couple thousand just to say I did. I mean, all this energy and effort's got to get to that next stage, and so believe that I can do that with the training and everything I put together. I think it's very possible to make it to the finals.
Yeah. How about modeling? You got any more modeling gigs coming up?
I sure hope so. I'd like to take any and all opportunities, to capitalize on this. And it's, it's something it's kind of different from rodeo. It's actually a whole nother world. And it's fun to step outside what you're so used to and comfortable in,
right,
and go do something different, and to share. A lot of times when I do shoots like Harriet or something, it's a Western theme, so it's natural for me, but it's in a different setting,
right?
And you get to share that with people. A lot of the photographers and production crews and stuff will ask questions, and it's any opportunity to share our lifestyle I enjoy. But shoot, I'd dang sure like to be on a Calvin Klein billboard someday or something like that.
Well, I have to connect you up with my good friend. I've had him on the podcast twice. I don't know if you know him or not, or if you heard the episodes, but Chris Douglas. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a photographer.
Okay.
But and I didn't know this when I first had him on the podcast, but he modeled for Versace, Armani. I mean, he's done.
Oh man.
But he's a rodeo cowboy, and he got scouted and picked up in when he was in college. So he'd be a good contact because he's connected to that world. So
heck yeah, definitely, that would be awesome. And that's kind of how like rodeo is such a small, tight knit community, and it's all networking and knowing the right people at the right time, and
right.
That's kind of how that is. The right people, and all of a sudden doors open, and versus you send an application in and they don't even pay attention, so. Right.
Exactly. Well, hey, so when are you heading back this way? Because your home base is in Wickenburg, correct? Or are you guys in Wyoming?
Yeah, my folks live in Wickenburg. My base is wherever that trailer's parked and plugged in for the time being. But I'm gonna head back to Texas here after I rope in Montgomery. I've got some meetings out there, and I'm trying to kind of figure out my schedule too moving forward. But I want to try and have a base there in Texas, because roping calves, you just have to be out there, and there's a lot of rodeos coming up in this spring that are going to be out there as well. So it's just a good place to be. But that's yeah, like I said, if I do go home like for Thanksgiving or Christmas or something, I go back to Wickenburg and see my folks.
Yeah, very cool. So now, do you have a favorite hat brand? Cowboy hat?
Favorite hat brand?
Yeah.
The felt that I wear is a Greeley Hat Works, which is made up there in Greeley, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually got that hat because it was on sale in Texas one fall, and I'd never really had a felt before. And it's a really unique color, and I like it. But there's some guys that make some really nice hats in Texas too. Capital Hatters makes some really nice hats in Stephenville.
Yeah.
And then I've actually got friends in Weatherford there, Dustin Lotta and Marty Lotta. They're actually from Marana.
Oh.
And they live in Weatherford now. It's Western Legacy, and they have some really nice hats and sport coats that are like built specifically for the Western industry.
Uh-huh.
And they make some really nice hats. So.
And what's the name of their company?
Western Legacy.
Western Legacy. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, they
yeah. So I don't really have a specific one. I guess like the straws I wear in the summer, I got a Rodeo King Jute, one of the old school type hats, and then a good old Resistol. I don't even know what they call that one. It's not the Wildfire, but it's just their kind of basic straw hat.
Right. Very cool. How about boots? You got a favorite boot brand?
I got some Anderson Beans on right now that are really nice that I got the other day. I do love Anderson beans. And then, you know, when I rope, I wear those old school Justin lace-up leather ropers.
Do you really?
Yeah, I got real weird feet. I wear a 10.5 B, so I got a real narrow foot, and most boots slip too much when I'm running.
Right.
So I found those lace ups, and they fit more like a tennis shoe or a cleat, you know, what I'm used to playing sports in. And so I like having that secure feel, and they're real narrow too. They only got a single welt on them. So
Right. Well, I wear a 10B, so I feel your pain there with having a narrow foot.
yeah, they're hard to find, but yeah, I got the other day I actually got a pair of Rod Patrick.
Yeah.
That fit phenomenal. Those are super nice boots, and they were actually the last pair NRS had in their store. And I got them on a deal, and I got these Anderson beans that are elephant ear. I always wanted elephant ear because it's real durable and tough, you know, and
Right.
it looks sharp too, so it kind of get the most bang for your buck.
Yeah. Hey, so be sure whenever you're shopping at NRS, if you don't have a discount code, use the code Modern Cowboy, get 10% off.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Heck yeah.
How about cowboy movies? You got a favorite cowboy movie?
You know, I'm gonna have to go. This one's kind of more for Mitch Fechner, but when I stayed up there with him, the guy that trained my horse, he loves Gunsmoke. Loves Gunsmoke. And every time we go in the house and sit down, that movie channel comes on, and we end up watching probably Gunsmoke reruns. So I like that, and then I like Tombstone too. Tombstone's a good movie with Kurt Russell and those guys in it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So when are you up there in Alabama again? Are you guys roping? Is it during the week or is it on the weekend?
Yeah, I'm up tomorrow here in the Slack on Wednesday.
Okay.
And perfs actually start Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and maybe Sunday. So, and actually my birthday's on Friday, and I kind of wanted to enter for that perf on my birthday just because it'd be cool to rope a calf on your birthday. But
yeah,
it worked out better because I'm gonna be in Texas meeting with some folks on Friday. So
very cool. So it's your birthday Friday. Well, happy birthday. How old are you gonna be?
27.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Time to grow.
What's that?
It's time to grow up a little bit, I guess.
Oh yeah, you got plenty of time, man. Plenty of time. Well, hey, I wanted to I got something else I got to tell you, because we've been talking about doing this for a while, and then once you know, I saw what happened with you there, and just the whole chain of events, and I just decided right then. I said, well, I think I'm going to do this and get Hunter on the podcast and do it. So we've been planning on doing this, having the well, basically we call it the Modern Cowboy Ambassador of the Year. And so we here at the Modern Cowboy brand are going to, we have nominated and appointed you the Modern Cowboy of the Year for the Modern Cowboy brand. So that comes with a couple little things. One thing we're going to do, we're going to give you $500. Okay. So if you got Venmo, we're going to Venmo you $500, and we're going to get you some apparel and stuff to get some pictures taken in. And you know, basically, you know, you just the whole chain of events that happened, you epitomize, you know, what a modern cowboy is, man, you know, and you just handle that whole situation with, you know, just dignity and just humble. And it was just a great example for everybody, youth, older, everyone. So, so anyway, so we're honored to bestow this, title on you here. And we hope you're as excited as we are.
Heck yeah, man. Thank you so much. That is very, very generous and kind of y'all. And kind of fitting, really. Like you said, Modern Cowboy is cool. And that's what I hope comes from all this, is it's not about me. You know, God gave me an opportunity right there.
Yeah.
And I seized it. And, and I hope it continues to grow. And that's when I say, like, capitalize on this opportunity. I don't mean financially and all that. Our industry is such a pure industry, and more people need to see it, and more people need to realize, we're a lot more than I don't know if anybody can see on there, but there's 7 trailers parked out there.
Right.
And we've all driven 1,000 miles this week because we love to compete, but we also represent an industry full of farmers and ranchers and small businesses and just so many hardworking, good people. And we all try and treat each other right, and take care of each other and help each other out when somebody's down. That's what our industry does, and that's what we're known for. And I hope more people across the country see that and want to become a part of it because of that.
Absolutely. And so people understand, rodeo is a sport too, on top of that. And just what all that entails, because people that aren't aware of it or aren't exposed to it or don't know anything about it can get the wrong ideas about it. And that's the last thing we want when we know it's completely different.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this one horse right here, this whole deal is not possible without him. And so, I hope that part of that story circulates too to people that are maybe skeptical or not. I mean, our livelihood rests on our animals, both the stock and our horses.
Yeah.
And we dang sure take as good a care of them or better care of them than we probably take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And every rancher and farmer does the same thing for their stock too. I mean, that's their livelihood. So it's and like I said, everything that's happened in the last year has been a really, really big challenge for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And we've become isolated from each other and family, friends, everyone. And in that moment, people were connected to something emotionally. And like I said, I just hope that continues to grow. And it's not just okay, we saw that on Sunday, what are we doing Monday now? It needs to continue growing.
Absolutely. Well, Hunter, man, hey, I really appreciate you, coming on and sharing with us today. And I'm excited to give a little something back to you, help you out and have you represent, our brand here as the Modern Cowboy Ambassador of 2021, man. So.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very, very much. That's kind of y'all.
You bet. And hey, good luck this week. And then hopefully I'll see you when you're back here in town too.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right, man. Well, hey, take care, and we will talk very soon.
Okay. Thanks, Dan.
I come from a long line of legendary men, sons of the desert and riders on the wind. I got a restless spirit burning deep inside of me. I ain't got much, but I'm free. I've always been one to do it my own way. I'm making my living between the saddle and the stage. I don't owe nobody nothing. Everything I got's my own. Some say I'm just bad to the bone. I'm a cowboy, yes I am. I was born to rope and ride. I'm a cowboy, that's my brand. Until the day I die. I got an old guitar and a brand new set of strings. From the radio to the rodeo, I'm gonna do my thing. I don't compromise on nothing. What you see is what you get. I may be broken, busted, but they ain't killed me yet. I'm a cowboy.